All right, Danny Gonzales here at Automate 2025. I'm here in the Schneider Electric booth here. I'm with Schneider and AVEVA. I've got Sree, Hameed, and I've got Benjamin Jude here joining me that's going to walk us through some cool technology you've got here. Sree, thank you so much for joining me. Benjamin, thank you.
Fantastic. So the point that we want to make in terms of the value add that AVEVA brings to this is that when you look around the floor, this is very much, it reflects the reality of the multi-vendor environment that you see on the plant floor. And in terms of keeping with the, with the message of smooth, what smooth means to us is the frictionless movement of information, whether it's across a multi-vendor landscape on the plant floor or a multi-vendor application landscape at the execution level. And that's what we do. And what we have here is we can show you some views of how we integrated that picture together.
Perfect. So, it's show, don't tell, right? Okay,
yes.
So what do you want to show us here? How are you doing this?
We try to make something complex smooth, and in the reality, you have an ecosystem of data which are complex to mix with each other. So when you see my back here, it's the integration of all sorts of data that you have at enterprise level. It's coming from the ERP system, human resource system. It's all integrated to make some dashboard for the CEO, for example, of the company. Then we can go to the next phases where you will display here some logistic environment. And same things, we mix together some logistic data, some weather forecast to predict the delivery of some good at some point of sales. This is another way of integration of data. Then you can move again to the next phases. When you have to build a factory, you have the design phases, so you have to build some mechanical equipment, you have to build some electrical cabinet. So we mix together another set of data, which is the design part and the operation part. And last but not least, all those machines in our booth are integrated, so we mix and we link together all those data to produce some KPI related to the machine and the diagnosis of the machine, the performance of the machine, and we make it smooth.
Perfect, I love it. So you're really pulling in a lot of disparate systems and different data sources, consolidating all that together and having actionable information or actionable data that you can make better insights and information with. And so instead of react and repair, you're able to predict and maintain. This is fantastic. I guess, this is maybe a little bit difficult question, I would say, but what would you say would be, what's the life cycle from an organization that comes in and says, hey, we really want to start going down this road and we want to start implementing this solution? What kind of timeline does that take to actually implement this and get them up and running?
Well, that depends on the organization. It's interesting, right now the theme has been around smart manufacturing. And I would say that what smart manufacturing means, different things to people at different stages of the journey. So an organization that's early in smart manufacturing might think of smart is intelligent firefighting. And once they get beyond that to, let's say, a second level of maturity, smart might mean execution discipline. I'm winning the shift. I'm making promises that I can keep and keeping the promises that I've made. And then, of course, from there, another level of maturity is being able to, let's say, take full advantage of the things like AI to have embedded intelligence within the processes. So what we've seen with customers, those who've been through this journey of crawl, walk, run, and taking a long-term perspective, I think there was a talk yesterday that one of our colleagues, Greg Tink, said. He said, it's both a sprint and a marathon, right? So, but you do have to have that longer-term perspective, and then we can figure out how to help accelerate that. But a lot of this is actually, customer-driven, I should say.
Well, I love the visual aspect of everything, be able to see all the data come together, because I think it can be so ethereal or rather just immaterial when you look at processes. I mean, certainly you can look out at the plant floor, but there's so many things that are happening behind the scenes that you're not able to see. This gives that visibility to that. I absolutely love it. one other question that I would have is, what are you seeing from a trends perspective with some of your customers right now relative to, I would say, tariffs or workforce challenges? What are some of those headwinds that you're hearing from your customers?
Yes, of course, there is a lot of challenges with the workers, the people like retire, and you have to digital everything. So what we try to do is to create this atmosphere of a cockpit where behind the scene you have a skeleton of data, a flow of data coming from different environments, and we try to create an environment where you can play with all this data, putting on the top of that some complexity. The cybersecurity has to be managed, and also some new technology like the artificial intelligence to be able to forecast something, to predict some things. So, and to make this smooth, it's not so easy, in fact.
I love it, perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time together, kind of sharing some of your technology, some of your insights with us. For those who'd like to learn a little bit more about your solutions, where's the best place to do that?
Well, of course, on AVEVA.com, you could go to the industry pages, and the solution is explained as it pertains to the different industries, and we have industry pages on Schneider as well, Schneider.com.
All right, perfect. Well,
SchneiderElectric.com, I should say.
SchneiderElectric.com, okay, and AVEVA. Thank you so much for your time again, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Okay.